Okay, good evening and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun to lean on. Today we're finishing another week. Siman Kuf Sadi, 190, Hilchos Berkas Hamazon. There's an interesting machlokas over here in Halacha Gimel. Shir Shtias Yain L'Schayev Bracha Achrona. How much wine you have to drink to make a main shalosh, Bracha Achrona? So also by water, right? Seemingly, the same question, right? How much you have to drink? How much water you have to drink to be chayiv in a Bracha Achrona? You say, Borin Fashos after water. Assuming you're drinking it because you're thirsty. Um, So how much you have to drink? So there's two opinions over here. I'm not exactly sure where. Let's look over here. Daled Tur b'shem ri b'tosos b'sukkah v'yuma over rush. Okay, so this is tosos and sukkah and the tosos and the rush seem to have one opinion. That's Kezias. Who's the other opinion? Don't know what the other. Maybe both of these Rishonim quote this machlokas. How much you need for achila? It's clear, right? How much sushi do I have to eat at kazayas? A kazayas is not that much. The amount of an olive. No, there's a lot of different opinions. Will tell you how much a kazayas is. If you ever been to a seder and the people squabbling about how much matzah, how much shmarz you have to eat, you go to your kazayas. The real mitzvah is like kazayas on the seder. A kazayas, not that much. So at the end of the day, um, at the end of the day, you have a gazayas or a revius. So all you have to eat is a gazayas by achila. When it comes to drinking, though, how much? Some say gazayas, and some say revius. Now, gazayas, an olive amount of drinking, right, of a liquid, is equal to half a betza, half an egg. A kazayas, we assume, is half of an egg. Two kazayas equals a betza. A revius is more than a betza. A revius is a betza and a half, 1.5 eggs. That means a kazayas, which is half of a betza, is 1/3 of a revius. So if we know a revius, right, according to Moshe Feinstein, the middle opinion, the Garach Noah says 3.1 ounces, Moshe Feinstein says 3.3 ounces, the Chazon Ish says 5 ounces. Pretty big disparity. So let's say Moshe Feinstein, most commonly accepted opinion. So 1/3 of that is 1.1 ounces. So if I drank 1.1 ounces, which is slightly more than a shakla, is I think exactly 1 ounce. So slightly more than that, then you'd be chayav say bracha achrona on any drink you drink. If you say a revius, you have to drink a lot more, 3.3 ounces. It's a lot. According to Chazon Ish, 5 ounces. So it's a very important halacha. And the Torah doesn't have an answer. The Torah says you should be careful to follow both opinions. Therefore, if you're going to drink a liquid, drink either less than a kazayas, where you surely don't have to make a bracha achrona, or drink more than a revius, where you do have to make a bracha achrona according to everybody. Because if you drink in the middle, then you're stuck. Now, what do you do if you drink in the middle? So the Taz, and the Shmuel quotes the Taz. Taz says if you drink Moli Lugmov, which is a third opinion, really. Moli Lugmov is Rov Revius, which is 3.3 ounces of Revius, so 1.7 ounces would be Rov Revius. If you drink that, then the Taz says you make a bracha achrona. The Achronim don't agree with the Taz. He says, no, Savik bracha zahakel, you wouldn't make a bracha achrona until you drink a Revius. Now, what do I believe the halacha is about drinking? So I think it's pretty simple. That I've mentioned many times, drinking is very different than eating. The Gemara in Sukkah talks about that when a person is satiated from drinking, migrone sava, right? That's why the Gemara recommends if you're very thirsty, right? People notice this. When you're very thirsty, right, you drink a lot, right? You take big gulps, right? You take a big gulp, 7-Eleven just opened here in Israel. So if you know what the big gulp, it's just a big cup with a lot of Coca-Cola in there. So you have a big gulp, that's how you satiate your thirst from your mouth, right? In a lot of ways, drinking is a more enjoyable experience than eating, right? The main enjoyment out of eating usually is the satiation you feel. That's why chalta v'savata v'rakta, right? It's hanas ha-me'ayim, right? Hanas ha-garon, right? Where your mouth is enjoying it. Usually liquids you enjoy, your mouth enjoys a lot more than actual foods. Happens to be very interesting, right? So I think you have to consider that. Now, achila kazayas, right? Apparently having a small amount, an olive amount, is considered achila b'chol makom for eating matzah or for doing an isser of eating nevela or something like that. It's considered something there where your me'ayim benefited, where you're satiated. Obviously not you're satiated completely, but satiated partially. That's a standard share for kazayas, no matter how big you are. However, by revius, it depends on your personal experience, personal enjoyment. I think this because the Gemara says in Yuma that Kamali Lugmav, really Mali Lugmav, we say Rov Revius, but It depends how big you are. It's for an average person, right? It depends how big your cheeks are. Moli lugma means it fills up your cheeks like that. So it fills up your cheeks. It depends. If you're a bigger person, you have to have more than 1.7 ounces because. So it's dependent on your mouth and what's going on in your mouth. So any drink that you're drinking because you enjoy the drink, right? If it's a drink that you're drinking that you would drink without the meal, right? For example, maybe Dr. Pepper or, any soda you like. But if you drink a soda you don't like, or you drink water or something you don't like, or apple juice, some apple juice is actually good. But if you're drinking it to accompany a meal, so then it's just helping you digest the food. So the sure would be a kazayas. However, if you're drinking it to enjoy it, even if it's in the middle of a meal, you're having some Dr. Brown's cream soda. I like that also. So only available in America, really. So I think it's kosher to Pesach, so I'll be there for Pesach. It's exciting. So the shear is, you're drinking your enjoyment over there. So the shear over there would be a revius, right? Because revius is normally the shear for shtia, right? The Gemara says by yayin for a nazir. We just started Masachas Nazir. The Gemara says in Masachas Sukkah, revius is the shear for a nazir, for shtia of a nazir. Revius is normally the amount of liquid you have to get your mouth to enjoy. Why do you need more than achila? Because the Gemara says in Sukkah that the best way to enjoy a liquid is to put a lot in at one time. A revius, right? A megrone sava. So you want to fill it up. Someone who wants to become full, because to quench their thirst, they should drink a lot. So a revius is triple the shear of achila. But it depends if you're drinking it for the drink or you're drinking it just to accompany and digest the food. If you're digesting the food, it's part of the achila. It's a kazayas. If you're doing it because you enjoy the drink, so then I would say it's a revius. So it depends, right? And the Taz, the famous Taz by Hilchos Kiddush, right? On Shabbos morning, Kiddush clubs, right? People oftentimes they don't have wine or they rather drink scotch, Glenmorangie, or whatever they should, Glenlivet, whatever, Glenfiddich, all these disgusting stuff. Even if it's single malt, who likes that stuff? We only like cocktails, right? Champagne and cocktails. That's all I drink. Only the good stuff. Anyway, it doesn't taste good. I mean, what are you drinking stuff that doesn't taste good? It's nice to have a little kick, but it's not taste good. What do you drink? The scotch, whiskey, bourbon? Barbarians? Disgusting stuff. But anyway, so the Taz says you have schnapps, you have a kazai, you have a shot glass. That's good enough to make kiddush on, right? Other poskim say no. Even the Mishnah brings this Taz. But the answer is that if that's the standard for drinking, right, people don't drink more than a shot of. Even though it's less than a kazayas. A kazayas is 1.1 ounces. Technically, you could yotzei kiddush according to the Taz. And you could be yotzei. Yotzei kiddush. And you could be yotzei and say a bracha achrona on it also. That's the standard, right? No one's drinking 3.3 ounces of scotch at one time. There are people that do that, but, it's going to have an effect on them. So you definitely don't drive after that. So, it depends on the drink. The drink is very subjective. Achila is very objective, right? Because kazayas is satiates a person a little bit. However, when it comes to drinking, it depends on the person because it's a personal experience, an enjoyable experience. Most of the food is not really enjoyable so much. I mean, it feels nice to be satiated, but drinking is meant to be enjoyed, and you have to do it based on your enjoyment. If you're doing it to enjoy it, it would be the shia normally. You do enjoy it. That's, I think, what it is. It seems very complicated, but it's very simple at the end of the day. I hope you enjoyed tonight's shir. See you on the next one.